Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Catfish Combat with Joel. All right, so yeah, it's been a couple weeks. It's been a wild couple of weeks going on here with the weather in northern Alabama. All right, so today it's kind of mid-January. Let's see, air temperature is about 45 degrees. Water temperature is about 49 degrees on the surface. The creeks are a little bit colder. They're about 45 degrees. Okay, so 2 days ago we had a huge rainstorm come through, big cold front. So this is day two post cold front. Now my plan going into today was I was going to search deep holes. Okay, so it's been like I said, it's been a weird couple of weeks. So December was unseasonably warm for northern Alabama winter. I mean, compared to last year, it was like 20 degrees warmer per day. I mean, New Year's Eve we had a tornado warning, and then the next day it dropped 40 degrees. So yeah, it's been really a lot of up and down, back and forth. So there's been kind of a delay in true winter coming in and these fish getting into a winter pattern. I think we're there. I think we're at that point now. So we're a couple weeks into some colder weather. It's been in the 40s mostly. So the water temperature is starting to stabilize. Now, what catfish do in the winter? They tend to go into deep wintering holes that are close to a creek mouth or a food source. Now, again, just because that's generally what they do doesn't mean that's what they're gonna do every time, right? You gotta go in, that's your theory going in, but you gotta test your theory. So I spent a good 30 minutes checking deep holes coming all the way down the river, nothing, okay? So now I changed my plan a little bit. So I didn't see them in the deep holes. So then I went to the creek mouths and went to some of the shallower areas, kind of offsetting them, because right now, they're pushing a lot of water. It's moving pretty quick right now, okay? So those deep holes are all in the really, really fast moving current. So instead, I've got a creek mouth right here, and as I came through into this little pool, I saw a bunch of signatures on the bottom, definitely look like catfish. There's a creek over there as well that I definitely saw a lot of signatures on too. So that's how I'm gonna adjust this plan. So those depths, when I'm talking about adjusting, the depths I'm looking at where I finally found some signatures are about 22, 23 feet in both locations. So I'm gonna start here. I've only got a couple hours to fish today, so maybe 2.5, 3 hours. I got some shad, I got some gizzard shad, and I got one skipjack. So yeah, we're gonna throw some baits out and see what happens today. All right, let's go catch some fish. All right, everybody, so something I want to talk to you guys about today is the different baits that I typically use when I catfish, okay? So when I'm talking about skipjack, for those of you who maybe are up north or some of the western waters never heard of that, so this is a skipjack, okay? It's a skipjack herring. This is considered, it's not a game fish, but they are a predatory fish. They eat typically small shad, little minnows. They're a very, very active fish, very similar to white bass. They school up in big schools. They're usually in moving water. Now, this is a great catfish bait. These guys are super oily. I'm talking like mackerel level oily. And that's one of the reasons catfish like them, why they make a great catfish bait, because they retain that oil and that blood really well. They give off a lot of scent in the water. So this is a good bait to use. Now, some people go and catch these things by the hundreds at the dam. Just being honest, I've never been successful in doing that. So what I do for skipjacks is I buy them from a guy in Alabama, in Anderson, Alabama. His business is called Bama Skips, and you can find him on Facebook. Give him a call. He usually has them. He keeps them frozen. Okay, so one of the things I really like about skipjack too is that they freeze really well, okay? If you vacuum seal them right away, keep them on ice when you catch them, vacuum seal them so you get all the air out, they freeze really well. And when you defrost them, so what I always do is if I'm going to fish, you know, the day before, I'll put one or two of these guys in the fridge, let them defrost the whole day so they come out, you know, nice and defrosted. And you cut into this thing, there's a lot of blood and goo in it. So they freeze and retain their shape really well. Now, the second bait I like to use is gizzard shad. This is a gizzard shad, okay? These are what I typically throw a cast net to catch. So gizzard shad, you'll find a lot of them. They typically school up in creeks and stuff like that. I'll go into a different video in much greater detail about shad, where to find them, how to catch them. But yeah, this is I would say probably tied for first with skipjack for my favorite bait. I have used them live. They don't retain very well live in a live well because they give off ammonia when they get stressed, so they die in a live well really quickly. So I usually just throw them on ice and cut them, you know, use them as cut bait, but I have used throwing whole shad out there before and been successful. All right, this is a threadfin shad. All right, see how he's a little bit different from this gizzard shad, also called a yellowtail. So threadfin shad typically don't get as large. Gizzard shad can get pretty big. They can get to the size of this skipjack, but threadfin shad. Usually get smaller ones. They're also a good bait too. That 50-pound blue cat I caught recently was on 3 threadfin shad on 1 hook. So it's also a good bait. One thing about shad, I do not use frozen shad, okay? And there's a lot of debate about this, but here's what I found in my experience and talking to the professional guys. Don't freeze these things. When you freeze them, even if you vacuum seal them and defrost them, they get really mushy and they have this brownish hue to them. All right, so that fish is already kind of decomposing. It's not very fresh. If you want to catch small channel cats, even smaller blues, they'll typically bite that. And I'm sure somebody has caught a huge, you know, blue cat or flat on frozen shad, but that's usually the exception. So I recommend, I only use these guys fresh. That's why I bring skipjack just in case I can't find shad. But I also, yeah, like I said, I only pretty much use fresh shad. So that's just a little lesson on the baits that I typically use. All right, let's get fishing. All right, everyone, so here's the setup. So going from left to right, so 1 through 4, I've got a threadfin shad on this one, kind of in the shallows there. I've got a piece of skipjack about this big on rod 2. It's a body section. On rod 3, I've got a shad head, and then on rod 4, I've got a skipjack head. So I'm going to move around a lot today. If I don't get anything in about 20 minutes on these spots, I'm going to hop to the next one because I don't think these fish are going to be moving a whole lot. I think they're going to be probably holed up wherever they're at. So again, I threw it kind of right in this creek mouth right here, like right in front of it. So we'll see what we can get. So I'm on my 3rd spot here. Okay, so I was up around the bend about maybe 200 meters that way. So at the top of the bend there's some pretty quick moving water. I got a few dink nibbles. That was about it. So again, I'm not really wasting time. So came around as soon as, if you can see that tree over there, as soon as I came around the corner of that tree, this whole area is lit up with bait fish from top to bottom. Mid-level, I see some gar feeding over there. They're mainly staying over there. And then as I came further and further down this way towards the pool, I saw what looked like more larger signatures on the bottom on like a back end of a little ditch right here. So I'm gonna give this a shot and see what I can pick up. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, that thing is rip and drag. Whatever, this is a big fish, man. Yeah, this is a hog, man. He came up and grabbed that thing hard. Yeah, it's a nice fish. This is a nice fish. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I can feel his weight, man. He made a big run, then he kind of stopped. I can still feel him there. I feel his weight. He's heading towards the boat. Yeah, I got him. There he goes again. Yeah, this feels like a nice blue. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good fish right here. Let's see. Might not be as big as I thought, just because of the current there. Might have just hooked into it. Real hard fighting fish at first. Let's see what he is. Yeah, I'm making gains on him now. Let's see what we got here. Keep him out of that anchor line. I don't know, man. He might have some weight to him. This is one of those weird deceiving fish. Or he could be medium sized or he could be real big. Let's see. But he gets tired soon here. Let's see what we got. I want to say this is on the shad head. Man, he's just hovering. There he goes. Yeah, he wants to take off again. Let's see what he is. He's coming close to the surface here. Nope, he ain't done yet. This is gonna be a good fish, man. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stay out of there. I can feel him bumping the anchor line. He's out of it though. He's over it, I should say. Let's see what we got. Oh, that's a huge blue, man. That's a big blue. Holy cow. Oh man. That's a hoss. I got him. Let's give him a weight. See what he's weighing in at. Let me turn it on first. All right. Oh man. No, he's about 40. This is not as big as the other one. It's not as fat, but it's a long fish. Let's get a length on him. Pushing 40, 44. It's a big fish, man. That is a beautiful, massive blue cat. Look at that bad boy. That thing is a hog. 40 pounder, about 44 inches. That is a beautiful fish. Oh. All right, let's get him back in the water. Now I can fit 2 of my hands in that thing's mouth. All right, buddy. Time for you to go back. Woo! That was a beast. Buddy, got another one. Got another good one. Yeah. This is a good fish. Yeah, this fish got some muscle. He snuck up on me there. Let's see. Yeah, so I switched over almost entirely to shad. So I moved to my last spot here. I'm in a creek mouth, basically like kind of in front of where a bridge and a creek intertwine. And getting ready to pack up, and he grabbed it. Doesn't feel huge, but feels like a decent fish. Probably a blue, but about 15-20 pound blue. Oh yeah, there he goes. He's running. Yep, shaking his head. He has on a shad body section. No. He got off. Oh my gosh, he got off. Oh. Yeah, buddy, at the buzzer, last minute. Yeah, buddy. That's not a huge fish, but that'll do. All right. Let's see. A little skinny though. Let's see how big he is. It's actually gonna fish for the live well. No, he's 30. I gotta let him go. He violates my rule. Nothing over 30. 30 or above, I should say. All right, buddy. Thanks. All right, guys, so that's gonna wrap us up for today's episode of Catfish Combat. Okay, so summary of today. That was a tough day of fishing, man. So first true winter day, and just again, I'm not an expert, not a professional by any stretch of the imagination, just a guy who really loves catfishing. I always got to remind everybody of that. And that being today, right? So last year I didn't put a lot of time on the water for catfish during the winter. I was mainly fishing for crappies. That was when I kind of first moved to Alabama and was figuring out the waters. So some of these areas I'm doing a lot of exploring. So I'm doing a lot of map recons, picking out areas. So today was kind of a process of elimination. So I went to a bunch of different areas in the zones. This was the most areas I fished in a while as far as jumping from place to place. I fished 6 different zones, 6 different spots where I saw some signatures. Now, the majority of the schools that I found were channel cats. They were just, you know, dink channel cats just pecking at me. Did pick up that really nice blue. I went to a last spot that I hadn't really planned on going to. It was kind of just a last minute idea. So it was an area near a highway bridge that feeds into a creek. And I figured that there would probably be fish there because I know there's shad and I know there's bait fish and other fish in that creek that the catfish like to eat. So I figured they'd probably be nearby or at least moving into that zone tonight to feed. And that ended up being right. Yeah, I missed a really nice fish, man. That second fish was big. Maybe not as big as the first one I caught, but that was a good fish. He was strip and drag right away. So when they do that with my gear, it's usually over 20. So that was probably about a 25, 30 pound fish. Okay, so lost that one and then picked up about a 10-pound blue at the very end there. All right, so yeah, so I'm gonna keep putting the time in the water this winter and really find these schooled up areas, these little holes that they're sitting in. Hopefully we can get some more. So yeah, I just want to say to everybody, hey, thanks for each subscriber, each like. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys' encouragement. Really appreciate all you guys watching. And yeah, I'm having a blast doing this. So hey, if you guys are getting something out of it, awesome. I'll keep doing it. And yeah. So that's going to wrap it up for today. All right, so remember, this is the day the Lord has made. And it was a cold day he had made, but it was still a good day to be out on the water. And yeah, God bless y'all and stay on mission for him. All right, take care. Oh, and Ginger says bye too. Ginger, say bye, everybody. She's cold. She's cranky and cold. All right, bye, guys.